Good evening, this is News Mongolia. I'm Satongkort in MNB World studio. For our top stories, the Speaker of Parliament received Hungarian Minister of Foreign Affairs and Trade. A new residential zone will be formed around the new airport. Proper playgrounds are missing at Győr districts. For other news, stay tuned. The Ministry of Health reported that 1,294 new COVID-19 cases were confirmed on Friday. The total number of coronavirus cases in Mongolia is now 162,869. As of today, 1,294 new cases were confirmed nationwide, bringing the total number of COVID-19 cases in Mongolia to 162,869. The total number of the recovered patients is now 146,977. Sadly, 7 more patients died due to COVID-19 complications. Out of today's cases, 398 cases were confirmed in Ulaanbaatar and 896 were confirmed in the provinces. As of today, 9,944 COVID-19 patients are being treated at hospitals. Additionally, 11,164 people with mild symptoms are being treated at home. On Thursday, the Speaker of Parliament, Mr. Zandenschatter, received the Hungarian Minister of Foreign Affairs and Trade, Mr. Péter Szijjártó. The Speaker noted that Hungary is an important partner of Mongolia in Eastern Europe. He thanked the Hungarian government for donating 33 ventilators for Mongolia's COVID-19 battle. Mr. Péter Szijjártó marked that Hungary is giving much importance to the joint projects of the two countries. He emphasized the project of renovating the National Biotechnology Factory, which will be expanded with new facilities and management. Mr. Szijjártó asked the Mongolian government to focus on the project and accelerate the process. He stated that once the project is implemented successfully, Hungary is willing to collaborate with other projects targeting agriculture. The Speaker expressed that Mongolia's government will fully support the biotechnology factory project. He also said that Mongolia's side is willing to broaden the cooperation in the field of education. The newly built Chinggishang International Airport is located in the Hushuk Valley in Tu province. The government has planned to develop a residential zone in the area. The process of land acquisition has started. On July 4th, the new Chinggishang International Airport was officially opened. The government is planning to develop the nearby area into a residential zone with economic benefits. The new airport is located in the Hushuk Valley, which stretches along Sirglensum and Altanbotlagsom of Tu province. Currently, a total of 3,173 citizens and entities have settled in the region. The government has started making a land acquisition deal with them. The new residential zone is planned to cover about 19,000 hectares of land and will house about 150,000 residents.
Starting from July 29th to August 15th, the Land Management Department of Tu province is receiving requests from settlers. We encourage current settlers to collaborate with the government's plan of acquiring 19,000 hectares of land for special use.
According to the plan, apartments for 34,000 residents, a center for transportation and logistics, as well as a trade and economic zone and highway will be established in the Hushuk Valley. The government offers financial compensation for those who are vacating their land. In the last 15 years, the Mongolian school system has changed twice to become a 12-year system. Textbooks were changed many times accordingly. This year, however, there won't be any changes in the textbooks, sources say. In 2014, the government approved the National Core Curriculum. Since then, Mongolia's school system has been stable. In the past 15 years, the Mongolian school system was changed twice, from 10th to an 11th-year system and from 11th to 12-year system. The massive system change put much pressure on rewriting textbooks. Even parents were struggling to buy all of them. For the coming school year of 2021 to 2022, the textbooks will remain the same, officials said.
There won't be any changes in any of the textbooks for primary and secondary education. Every year, the Ministry of Education prints textbooks by receiving orders from schools.
The price of textbooks is also a hot topic every year. In previous years, textbooks were expensive and often they weren't enough for all students. Children in rural areas usually lacked textbooks and had to share with each other. Since 2019, a textbook lending service has been implemented. It allows students to borrow all necessary textbooks from their school library for an affordable price. It is estimated that one textbook is being used for about 4 years by 4 students. Here is the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Thank you for staying with us on MNB World. Now let's take a look at Mongolia's current affairs.
Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi will hold the first meeting of the International Forum for Cooperation on COVID-19 Vaccines, Foreign Ministry spokesman Zhao Lijian said on Thursday. The online meeting on August 5th will focus on strengthening the cooperation on COVID-19 vaccines and promoting fair and equitable distribution of vaccines, he said. According to Zhao Lijian, the meeting will be attended by about 30 participants, including ministers from around the world, representatives of international organizations led by the United Nations, and business representatives. He added that international cooperation negotiations will be held between China and the vaccine companies participating in the meeting. China had offered to host an international forum for vaccine cooperation at the World Health Assembly in May. The Minister of Health in Khpot yesterday received the UN resident coordinator for Mongolia, Tapan Mishra. At this meeting, they exchanged views on the COVID-19 situation as well as future policies and solutions. Tapan Mishra said the Health Ministry has successfully vaccinated 60.1% of the population against COVID-19. Health Minister in Khpot outlined the number of cases reported in Mongolia and the policy measures that need to be taken to prevent the spread of the Delta variant, open schools safely, and get seasonal flu vaccinations. Tapan Mishra noted that the International Health Group meeting was successfully organized by the UN resident coordinator and the WHO resident representative in collaboration with the Ministry of Health in 2020, and that the UN will continue to support the government of Mongolia.
Labor force registration for 2022 to South Korea has been completed. After a one-year hiatus, the application process has resumed.
The South Korean government has requested 676 industry workers from Mongolia for 2022. For those job positions, 3,400 applicants registered. All the documents and applications were sent to South Korea.
In 2020, the workforce application process for South Korea was stopped because of COVID-19. Therefore, we made a request to Korean side to receive applications for 2022, and we carried out the registration process.
Back in 2019, over 400 Mongolian citizens were selected for the workforce program in South Korea. However, during the 2020 pandemic, only 63 workers were sent via chartered flights. It means over 300 citizens are still waiting for the jobs in South Korea. The borders between the two countries are still under strict lockdown due to a COVID-19 surge. When the situation improves, these citizens will be allowed to visit South Korea, but it might still take some time. Since the beginning of 2021, 3,400 people have applied to be part of the labor force in South Korea. Mongolia has a labor force pact with two countries, South Korea and Japan. In South Korea, a total of 29,000 Mongolian citizens worked there with a labor contract since 2004.
Children living in Gyr districts don't have any proper playgrounds to play in. Therefore, many are playing near roads or at undesignated locations. When it comes to Gyr districts, the number of playgrounds is very few, yet 70% of the total city's population lives in a Gyr district. Apartment buildings must have playgrounds, but this regulation doesn't apply in Gyr district areas.
So many children are getting into car accidents. In this area, there is no playground, only streets shrouded with wormwood.
Experts note that playing is an important part in children's physical and social development. Due to the lack of playgrounds, children in Gyr districts are confined to their yards or playing in a hazardous environment. According to a 2020 study, there are around 900 playgrounds in the capital city, but about 70% of them have already been damaged or don't meet proper standards.
The basic standards include that the playground must be 6 meters away from any high voltage poles, and dustbins must be at a distance of at least 100 meters. It's all about children's health, so these kinds of standards must be followed, but it doesn't always happen in real life.
On the topic of playgrounds, there are two prevailing issues. First one is the lack of playgrounds. Second one is the quality or standard. Psychologists note that children learn by playing. Therefore, proper playgrounds should be considered as important as schools.
Mongolian athletes are taking part in the first international team Classic Powerlifting Championships, which are being held in Iran on July 27th to 30th. In addition, the international master performing in the 83 kg weight category won the gold medal in the weightlifting category, lifting 270 kilograms, 155 kilograms, and 272.5 kilograms bars. Two athletes will represent Mongolia in the 93 and the over 120 kilogram weight categories.
Now let's take a look at the weather forecast for the world's major cities. This is it for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you next time with more news and updates. Have a nice evening. Goodbye.